beautiful souls. Welcome to Spiritual Bloom, where we bloom within our consciousness with your spiritual guide and twin flame coach, Neha. In today's episode, we will be talking about self-love. What is self-love and how does it impact our twin flame journey and leads you towards your union? So, if you are on a twin flame journey, one of the hardest lessons you will ever learn or accept is self-love. Many people think that it is easy to chase a person, but when it comes to accepting self-love, they find it very difficult. Most people start this journey believing that it is about finding the other person, the one who feels like home, the one who mirrors your soul, but very quickly the journey begins to show you something deeper. It shows you yourself, a clear mirror, a clear picture of who you are and what are your deep wounds and where does it require healing. As we all know, that twin flame connections are not just romantic relationships, they are mirrors. Like I told you in the previous episodes, that mirrors just don't show you your beautiful part, it also shows you your scars and the wounds which you don't like seeing, or you are disgusted by the feeling of such wound and deep darkness that lies in your soul. And sometimes the mirror reflects the parts of ourselves we have ignored, rejected, or buried for years. Many people think the pain in the twin flame journey comes from separation, distance, or misunderstanding. But let me tell you, the real pain often comes from the realization that we have not been loving ourselves the way we deserve. Like I told you, that it's very easy to chase a person. In a twin flame journey, when a person realizes that he or she is a twin, they think that it is very easy and common to chase a person or make the other person realize or convince them, and they really work hard to convince the other person to love them the way they deserve. But the hard part here is acceptance. Acceptance that chasing a person does not lead you to ascension. Chasing a person does not make you fall in love with yourself or the kind of self-love that you should be doing to yourself or the justice that you should be doing to yourself by filling the gaps and voids which requires healing, protection, and love. Those areas have been ignored and rejected for years. So instead of coming into acceptance and understanding that these areas requires healing, love, and protection, people find it convenient to chase the other person and search for love outside and start convincing their counterpart that they are supposed to be loved in a certain way. That is the kind of acceptance that they are ready to accept. But when it comes to accepting that they have to give that love to themselves and come into self-love and look for that love within and not outside, that is where all the game changes, and it is also one of the hardest part. So, many people think that the pain in twin flame journey comes from separation, distance, or misunderstanding. But the real pain often comes from the realization that we have not been loving ourselves the way we deserve. We always chase, we overgive, we wait for validation, we lose ourselves trying to hold on to someone who triggers every insecurity we carry. So our counterpart shows us the mirror. Those triggers are exactly what we have been lacking in our life. Your counterpart will always focus and trigger those parts, those void areas which needs healing and from which you have been escaping or trying to run since many years. The truth is, the twin flame journey is not meant to make you dependent on another soul. It is meant to bring you back to your own. So there is so much misconception in this journey, especially during the runner chaser phase, that people think that it is easier to convince your counterpart and be dependent on your counterpart. But they don't understand that they have to come in acceptance with themselves, and they have to understand that self-love is the most important thing to lead this journey. When a person comes into self-love, he or she leads the journey through their highest frequency and energy, because the self-love journey teaches you to ascend, and through ascension you reach a higher frequency. And because of that higher frequency, your counterpart surrenders in this journey, and in that way you both move towards union. But many people find it very difficult, like I told you. Self-love in the twin flame journey means learning to stop abandoning yourself. Like abandoning your small needs, abandoning your time, abandoning your energy, and overgiving people or overgiving your time and energy to your counterpart instead of focusing on yourself. For example, if your health requires to be maintained, or if you are going through some physical ailment and it needs attention, instead of focusing on your health or going for exercises or doing some workout, you are busy thinking about your counterpart, not focusing in the present, not focusing on your daily life, ignoring your hobbies which previously used to enjoy. For example, painting, coloring, gardening, baking or cooking. But the entire time your counterpart is stuck on your head and it becomes like a drug. I can understand that these bubble phases are quite addictive, where you always feel like thinking about your counterpart. But at the same moment, ignoring yourself is something that you are doing injustice to yourself. And this injustice makes you chase your counterpart more, and your counterpart, instead of coming into reunion with you, starts running away from you. Actually, in physical realm, it looks like he is running away from you, he or she. I will not specify the gender, so please match according to your energy. In physical realm, it will seem like he is running away from you. But spiritually, if you see, he is running away from those parts which you are neglecting in yourself. For example, giving time to yourself, reading a nice book, bringing back the hobby which you used to love, photography, cooking, baking. All these are small things which many people they ignore, and they think that the universe is not observing. It is observing. Everything in this journey is observed by the universe, and that is what leads to your union or reunion. But like I told you, it's very hard to come into acceptance and choose yourself. It's easy to choose something that is external and another person, but it is equally difficult to choose yourself and come into acceptance that you need yourself more than the other person. So, self-love means choosing your peace even when your heart wants to chase. That happens when you maintain balance within your masculine and feminine energy. A time will come in your journey where you will choose your peace. Even if you want to chase, you will not chase the other person, because you will understand the value and realize that your peace, time and energy is more important than any person or any situation. So, it means setting boundaries even when your soul feels connected to them. You will set high boundaries if your counterpart is not treating you the way you deserve to be treated. You will understand that you have reached a certain frequency and your counterpart needs to do the equal amount of inner work to reach that frequency and match you. And you will not settle for less, and you will start drawing boundaries. That is how you come into self-love. It also means healing the wounds that existed long before the twin flame appeared in your life. So these wounds were there even when your twin flame was not there, or you didn't know that you were in a twin flame journey. But these wounds intensified and triggered and came into surface when your twin flame appeared in your life, and that is their purpose. They trigger you, they show you what is needed to be healed, because that is how you both ascend, you reach a certain frequency and you come into union. Because if both of you move towards union with healing, without healing, and with wounds which needs healing, you can never come into union, and that is a situation that where the divine will never allow. Because even the universe knows that until and unless you don't heal things within yourself, you can never reach union, because that union will not be peaceful or harmonious. Instead, it will be distorted and very disturbing. Because the twin flame does not create your wounds, they simply reveal them. The only purpose of your twin is not just coming into union and carrying out the soul purpose. The most important role that your twin or counterpart plays is that they reveal the wounds that needs healing. Like I told you, all those void parts or the wounds that needs healing, they will show you and they will trigger you again and again, until and unless you don't heal, you don't come into realization, and you don't reflect and understand when, why, and how it needs healing. And that revelation is not punishment, it is an invitation. What kind of invitation? It is an invitation to grow. That trigger, that mirror, is an invitation to grow, to heal, to rediscover who you are outside of the connection. It brings you into your power, but it teaches you to be powerful individually without any counterpart or partner, where your identity is not linked to your partner or your counterpart. Your identity and individuality comes from you and comes from a powerful place where you have healed yourself and reached that frequency. The moment you begin loving yourself deeply, something powerful happens and the energy of the connection begins to change. You stop chasing and you start aligning with your own worth. You start realizing your self-worth. You understand that you are equally mentally, physically, or emotionally more mature, more worthy. I'm not saying in a way that you will compare yourself to your counterpart. They may be good in their own way, but even you are best in your own way. You are an empath, you are compassionate. Even though if you are not doing well in your material life, even if you are not earning something, that does not define your worthiness, Worth comes from being humble, being kind, being compassionate, acting like an actual light worker or an earth angel, showing people what kindness is. That is what defines your worthiness, your upbringing, the morals that you have learned. That is what defines your upbringing. And when it comes to material things, that will fall automatically in your life once you start healing, clearing blockages, and divine will bless you with all that you deserve. But never ever think that you are not worthy of someone just because you are less educated, or you are not earning, or you have not reached that level where you once dreamt or you thought that I will reach at this age. Or maybe some of you are even unemployed. That does not matter. That does not define your worth. When you come into self love, you come into a very powerful place within yourself where you realize your worth, and that worth is far beyond material things or material gains. Once, if you understand that your worthiness is not defined or measured by the material things in life, that is the point where you win and you know how to master self love. Because self love is a very difficult task. It's not for the faint hearted. To come into self love, you have to come into acceptance. Acceptance that you have wounds. Acceptance that something is lacking in you. Then the second stage comes where you have to accept that you need healing. You have to start working on it. You can't be lazy. You have to be disciplined. So that's why never measure self-love or your worthiness to any material things. Material things are, it doesn't have any structure. If today you are lacking something in life materially, believe me, after few years you will have it all. If you really know how to love yourself, if you really know your worth, and if you build those building blocks by working on yourself and reach a certain frequency. So always remember that true self-love in Twinflame Journey means understanding this one truth, that you are already whole. Your twin flame does not complete you. They come to awaken you. Their only purpose is to awaken you so that you can come into higher frequency and lead your soul purpose. And sometimes the greatest transformation happens not when you reunite with them, but when you reunite with yourself. So, the entire cycle of Twinflame Journey is not just reuniting or coming into union with your counterpart. Before doing that, the universe and divine will observe that are you ready to reunite with yourself first? Are you ready to make yourself worthy so that you can carry out the bigger responsibilities in future? If yes, that is when you come into your higher frequency and you lead the journey, and that is how the universe will also bless you with reunion and union with your counterpart. So if you are on this journey right now and it feels confusing, painful or overwhelming, remember this: the twin flame journey is not just about union with another soul. It is about union with yourself. So to come into union with your counterpart, you have to come into union with yourself first. And the more you love yourself, the more you step into your true energy, your true purpose, and your true power. Because the real destination of this journey was never another person, it was always you. So understand this very clearly, that the real mission or the real aim of this journey was never achieving the other person or having the other person in your life. It was always about you. I will tell you how it is always about you. It was always about you. Because until and unless you don't recognize yourself, your true powers, how will you come into power and raise your frequency? Because you are the leader. You are leading this journey. So to do that, you have to understand and know that you are powerful enough. You are an alchemist and you can do anything. So to understand that, you have to go deep within yourself and heal yourself and come out as the best version of yourself. That is when your counterpart will also mirror you, and you both will come into a peaceful, harmonious union. So this journey is only about you. Like I told you, the twin flame journey, if you think and if you imagine, The soul has been split into two. One is in your body and another is in your counterpart's body. So the body, physical body in the 3D, I will call them as vessels. So the vessels are different, but the soul is the same. So when you find yourself, even your counterpart finds himself or herself. And when both of you find each other on your own without depending on the other person, that is how you create union within yourself. And when you create union within yourself and you know that you are whole within yourself, you don't expect anything externally. And when you don't expect anything externally, that is when the magic happens. That is when your both frequency matches and you come into union. So, twin flame journey. Many people, they think that it is a very complicated journey. But these are certain things that is very minute and very unnoticeable. People don't notice. They go for big things, like they think that meditating for 15 hours, 20 hours or meditating for 5 hours will get me union. But they don't want to focus on self-love. Self-love is being disciplined every day. So I told you, no, these things are unnoticeable. Like they know that what is self-love, I have to come into self-love, but they don't want to practice. It's like teaching a child to say A for apple. In every book you go and see, like children's book, it will be written A for apple, B for book, C for cat. But in this twin flame journey, the condition of the collectives who are new, instead of saying A for apple, B for book and C for cat, they'll go to higher things like, A for aeroplane, B for ballerinas, C for catastrophe. Complicated things, complicating for no reason. It's like you have got a bowl of fruit near you, yet you have been searching for fruits the entire market. That is not how it should be. I'm not saying that meditation is not a part of this journey. It is. But before reaching there, first you need to focus. Just like a child, before he starts learning to read or write a sentence, he understands the alphabets, right? So without learning the alphabets, how can you jump into writing a sentence or reading it? Basic simple things are around you. Basic simple things. You just need to apply. What is self-love? How can you love yourself? How can you apply that in your everyday life? One day at a time. That is all about self-love. Once you come into self-love, you'll become so powerful that you'll feel like you need nobody in your life. Not out of ego. Because it's not out of ego that you'll be feeling that way. It's because you are whole all by yourself. You're whole and you're content. And you don't seek validation or love outside. So my friends, if you really think that this twin flame journey is a difficult journey, please reflect on yourself and look around and make a list of all the basic things that you need to require to work on. And start working on it one by one, instead of listening to people and going for the complicated things. So I hope you like this episode on self-love and how it impacts the twin flame journey. If this content really resonated with your heart, please like, share and subscribe. And for any kind of personal details, you can WhatsApp or email me. My personal contact details have been given in the description box and also in the video. So I'll be coming soon with another episode. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you for all the subscribers who have subscribed to my channel. Please keep on supporting me. I'm doing this for you all so that at least I can contribute a bit towards your journey through my experiences and you don't find it difficult or go through things that I went through. So thank you for listening. See you soon.